Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Intentional Favor. If you're new here, thanks so much for tuning in. On this channel I share my life experiences on issues pertaining to faith, lifestyle, studying abroad, social work. I also do a little bit of vlogging, so if you'd like to join this family here, you are more than welcome to do so. Just hit that red subscribe button below. Also hit the notification bell so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. And to you my returning subscribers, thanks so much for coming back. So guys, in today's video, as you've seen the title already, we'll be talking about study visa application, UK specifically. So this video is basically for those that are applying for study visa for the UK, not any other country, please. Yes, I share my experience and I've only got experience with applying for study visa in the UK, so I'll be sharing from my wealth of knowledge so as to help someone, to help people out there who might be scared or worried about the application process for study visa. This will actually come as a series. It will be a series because I can't say everything in one video, so I'll find a way of breaking it down into various steps. So particularly in today's video, I'll just be talking about the things that you need when you are preparing for the application, that is before making the application. Then later on we'll talk through the application process, and we will definitely be talking about the visa interview. Yes, the interview, which is the major one. But that's the major one. But don't forget, if you don't get it right at the beginning, you mess up, which will obviously lead to a visa denial. I don't like saying that, visa denial, visa refusal. Oh my gosh, you don't want that to be your case. So that's why you enjoy videos like this. So just going through the things that you need to know, just creating an awareness and helping you prepare before the proper application process. First thing I would say is CAS letter or CAS number. CAS is CAS, meaning confirmation of acceptance of study. This will come from your university. So the university, after offering you admission, the next thing that they are going to give you apart from your offer letter is your CAS letter bearing your CAS number, confirmation of acceptance of study. For your visa, for your student visa, your university is actually your sponsor. So your university sponsors your visa, so they need to send you a CAS number and a CAS letter. Now, one thing I'll say about that CAS number, or no, not necessarily the number. Now, let's talk about the letter that they will send to you. Now, that letter will bear so many information. It will talk about the course you applied. You talk about when your proposed start date, when you'll be finishing, your tuition fee, and all those stuff. It will just many information will be there basically. Now, what I want to say at this point is, please make sure that every information in your CAS number is accurate. Make sure that they are correct, please. So, peradventure university sends you your CAS number or your CAS letter rather, make sure you go through it thoroughly. Make sure your name is properly spelled. Yes, please make sure your name is properly spelled. Make sure that it is the program you applied for that you have there on your CAS letter. Make sure every information is correct. So make sure they are very correct. Another thing you need to watch out for as per making sure that the information is correct is the amount of tuition fee you will pay and the ones you have paid. Yes, so make sure that your tuition fee that they told you, of course, which you apply for, make sure it is correct, because that's exactly what the embassy will be using. So make sure that it is correct. And if you have made deposit, because one of the conditions that you'll find most times is that you have to make a deposit. Yes, so depending on the amount of deposit and you've made a deposit, make sure that your CAS letter reflects that you have made a certain deposit. You might have paid more than the deposit. In my own case, for instance, I paid my first year tuition fee before applying for my visa. So in that case now, I made sure that my CAS letter acknowledges that I have paid my tuition fee. So the exact amount I have paid for my tuition fee, I made sure that it reflected. If there was any scholarship that the university gave you to, make sure that it is written there that you have this scholarship and this is the amount you are left to pay. Very, very important. So don't assume things, because the amount that you see in your CAS letter, that is what the Home Office, that's what the embassy will be using to judge your amount of financial evidence, the money in your account. That is what they will use to judge that. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So make sure that every information on your CAS letter they are accurate, make sure they are correct. So if you notice any something, if you notice any mistake, any error, maybe your name is wrongly spelled or something like that, please contact your university. Very, very important. Don't assume things, don't overlook things, because every information matter. It must match the documents that you will submit for your application. So make sure that every information in your CAS letter is accurate. Now, another thing that you need to know is that your CAS letter, regardless of when it comes, it cannot be used until 3 months before your start date. What I mean by this is this: if you are starting your program in September, for instance, you cannot apply for your visa you cannot apply for your visa earlier than June. Yes, and it even depends on your start date. So if you are starting September 30th, for instance, you can't apply earlier than June 30th, if that makes sense to you. So that is a requirement. So make sure, because sometimes you might be, oh yeah, my CAS letter is here and all, and I believe most universities, they include all this information in your CAS letter. Please make sure that you read the email that comes with your CAS letter. Read every information and every detail. Make sure that you grab every information there and you understand them. So you cannot apply for your visa until 3 months before the start of your program. So make sure that that is the case, because if you apply before then, your visa will be denied. Yes, it will be denied. So make sure that you apply not earlier than 3 months before your start date. Another important thing is for you to gather all your documents. Yes, get all your documents. Now, most times your CAS letter, of course, will tell you the documents that you will need, but make sure that they are all original. Yes, make sure they are original. Any results or any document that you printed online from a website, for instance, you can get your WAEC result. For those in West Africa, for instance, your WAEC result, that's the equivalent of GCSE in the UK. You can get the result online using a pin, scratch pin, and all those stuff, and get it online. That result is invalid as far as visa application is concerned. It has to be original. Emphasis on original, not photocopy, not scanned documents, not the one that you printed from any website. Make sure that it is the original certificate. So your WAEC result, for those in West Africa, like I said, or any maybe your GCSE, more like high school certificate, make sure that it's the original, the main original one. Make sure that that is what you apply with. The same applies to your English language document, maybe IELTS or TOEFL or any of those stuff. Make sure that it is the original certificate that you apply with. Basically, what am I saying? Make sure that you apply with original documents. And of course, another important document that you need to get ready is your statement of account. Yes, your bank statement. That is a crucial document in your visa application. Now, the next couple of things I'll be saying, there are things that will go towards the same document. Some things you need to know about this document. I think that is even the major highlight of this video. So talking about finances and the financial document, your statement of account, one thing that is important is please know your tuition fee. I've said it earlier when I was talking about the information in your CAS letter. Make sure that you know how much exactly is your tuition fee. Yes, so know your tuition fee, and if you've made deposit, it means that now, just in a simple illustration, let me just explain what this is like. Now, number one, knowing your tuition fee, right? If you know the amount that you are to pay in your tuition fee, let's take for instance that your tuition fee is 15,000. By the way, when we're talking about this tuition fee, if your program is more than 1 year, you are expected to show evidence of the first year. So 1 year, not the whole maybe 2 years or 3 years of study. No, we are talking about the 1 year. But some programs, especially master's program in the UK, they are usually one-off payment because they are like 1 year. Yeah, the master's program is just 1 year, so it's like one-off payment. So you won't be talking about second year or something. But if your program is, for instance, my program is a 2-year program, all I needed was the first year tuition fee and maintenance fee. I'll talk about maintenance fee later on. So that's what you need to know. So know how much you are expected to pay. If you have made a deposit already, like I said earlier, what it means is that the amount of money that is required or expected to be in your account, which you of course print out the statement of account, has to be the balance of your tuition fee. Yes, minimum. Of course, it can be higher than that. I'll still talk about that later. So it has to be that. So if you have, let's say that your tuition fee is £15,000, that's your first year or one-off payment, one-off tuition fee, 15,000 pounds, right? And then the university required you to pay a 3,000 deposit. Without that deposit, they can't even issue you a CAS number or a CAS letter. So assuming that you have now paid the tuition fee, how much is left? You have £12,000 remaining, right? Yes. So that is what you are expected to pay. All right, so the 12,000 is what you're expected to pay. So that £12,000 has to be in your account. That's number one. Secondly, there is what we call maintenance fee, more like the cost of living expenses. Yeah, so your tuition fee and the maintenance fee, I'll use maintenance fee throughout this video, but I'm talking about the living cost of the living expenses. So these are the things that are required to be in the account that you have to provide the statement of account. So your tuition fee, we've talked about the tuition fee, right? Now let's talk about the maintenance fee. So this maintenance fee is another amount of money that has to be in your account, the account that you'll be using to apply for your visa. Before December 2020, the maintenance fee used to be £1,015 per month, and then for 1 year program it has to be £9,135. That's what has to be in your account. That's what it used to be. So after the increase, the maintenance fee is now £1,334 per month and £12,006 for 1 year program. That's a lot. I mean, from 9,000 to 12,000. That's a lot. That's a lot now. So it actually increased. That's what I'm saying in essence. So it increased. So that is the money that you have to have in your account balance. Now, this maintenance fee that we are talking about, part of it, of course, is your accommodation. So for instance, if you have paid accommodation to the university, yes, it has to be in your CAS letter too. The university will state it in your CAS letter that you have paid your certain amount of money for your what? For your accommodation. It will be there, and this will be like subtracted from the amount of money you need to show evidence of. All right, now another important thing I need to say at this point is that any payment you make to your university after they have issued you your CAS letter is invalid. Like, what do I mean by being invalid? Is invalid as far as your visa application is concerned. I'll say that again. So if your university has given you your CAS letter, if you go ahead and make another deposit, another payment, maybe a deposit or the complete tuition fee, it is necessary that you either get another CAS letter from them with which you will apply for your visa, or still make sure you have the exact money in your account. So the advice is this: once your CAS letter is out, don't bother paying any other fee to your university. Instead of paying that fee to them, just put it in the account that you'll be giving them as evidence during your visa. Is that clear? So just know that because the embassy, home office, all they will be using to judge your financial capacity is what is in your CAS letter, the amount that is in your CAS letter and the amount that you provided in your statement of account. That's what they will be using. So if you made another payment to the university after they've issued you your CAS letter and you use that same CAS letter for your visa application and you feel like, oh, I've paid, maybe later on you now found out that you paid your tuition fee complete and you've paid even your accommodation and you don't expect to have any much money in your account, it won't matter, it will not count. So please, once your CAS letter is out, don't bother paying any other fee to your uni. And if, for instance, you made a mistake or for whatever reason you have to pay it, make sure that you ask your university for another CAS letter and make sure they provide you that. If they don't and if they cannot, please still make sure that you have the exact money that is required from your CAS letter. Make sure you have it in your account, the same account you'll be using to apply for your visa. Now we're talking about statement of account. Now, one thing you need to know about the statement of account is that the money has to stay in your account for at least continuous 28 days. Emphasis on continuous. Yeah, so it's not breaking it down 28 days, 14 days, then another 5 days, the money is not there, you put it in again, you use it for something else, you put it and you bring all of them together and say this is 28 days. No, it has to be in your account for what? 28 days. Yes, continuous 28 days, untouched. I'm still going to be talking about the accepted statement of accounts or the account number with which you can use to prove your financial capability. But one mistake that people usually make is that they put the money, it stays 28 days, they print out the statement of account, and maybe for whatever reason, I don't know, they might now start spending the money or start using it, for instance, booking accommodation, paying for stuffs like that. Please don't make that mistake. Now, the money has to be in your account for for continuous 28-day period, a continuous 28-day period, right? It has to be there. And while it is there, it has to be untouched. Personally, I would advise you, for instance, if you're using your, maybe, let's say that your parents, for whatever reason, they don't want, to use their own statement of account, maybe big money there, or for whatever reason, they don't want to use their own account. Now, you can use your own account. So what matters is that the account is in your name. So you can use an account that is in your name, in your parents' name, yes, and of course you need to show evidence that they are your parents. Yes, maybe your birth certificate or something. So it has to be your account, your parents' account, or maybe your partner's account, maybe your husband or your wife, if both of you are applying at the same time, or if the person is already in the UK. Or it can also be maybe a joint account. If it's a joint account you have with someone, as far as you are one of the recipients, you are one of the owners of the account. So you can use a joint account that you have with another person, or your parents' joint account. Yes, so these are the only accounts that are accepted. Okay, so let's assume that maybe your parents, they don't want to use their own account number for maybe reasons known to them or whatever. Now you can use your own account. That was my case. My dad didn't want to use his own account, so I just used it in my own account in my name and everything. He put the money inside there. All right, so it is accepted. Many people ask me this question a lot. It is accepted. So there is no maybe asking you, how did you get the money and all. Someone asked me that question. No, all that matters is that the account is in your name and the money has stayed there for a continuous 28-day period. Yeah, it has stayed there continuously for 28 days untouched. Also, don't make this mistake. The money has to be there until your visa is out. So don't be tempted to start spending from the money. Maybe you now want to book accommodation. You now go and take the money. When your visa is not yet out, you start spending it to pay for accommodation, start booking your flight, start doing all these things. No, please, I repeat, no. If you do that, it will lead to visa denial. Yes, it will lead to visa denial. So please, the money has to stay there for 28-day periods continuously, and you have to now print it. And another thing is that when you print it, the statement of account is valid for 1 month, that's 31 days. So if you printed the statement of account, it means that within 30 days or 31 days of printing it out, you must apply for your visa. Yes, so if you printed it, let's say that you're applying for your visa maybe in August, 1st of August, and you printed an account statement of June 30 or June 20 something, and then you applied for your visa 1st of August, that statement of account, that document is invalid and it will lead to visa denial. So the advice is this: when your money has stayed for continuous 28 days, the next thing for you to do is the day you print out your statement of account, as much as possible, apply for your visa that day or the following day. So it has like to stay for 1 month, 31 days. If not, it will be invalid. So I said something earlier. I don't know if you caught it when I said it. I will advise, when you put the money in your account, in as much as, okay, you've done the calculation that you need £24,000 in the account, one thing that I will advise you do is, on a weekly basis, please, in as much as maybe your parents gave you the money and they put it there, keep putting money there on a weekly basis. As when you are in Nigeria, you can be putting 20,000 every day or every week, or 10,000 every week for the 28-day period. You get why? You know the reason? Now, we are not, I can't remember the English I wanted to speak, but we can't deny the fact that there is always changes, fluctuations when it comes to the currency equivalents, maybe naira, pounds, cedis, pounds, or wherever you are from. Okay, so it's fluctuating. So that's why I want to give you this advice. Okay, it's important that you add extra. So if all you are required to pay is £24,000, that's what you need to have in your account, right? Please don't put exact. I don't even know. Another thing is that make sure that what you are using to calculate the equivalence, make sure it's correct. I'm going to leave a link in the description box of official website or whatever that the Home Office uses for their calculation. But please still be mindful that this fluctuates. Okay, and mind you, when they will be considering your visa, your application, your visa application, it is the current at that moment, it is the equivalence. That is what they will use to check that you meet that financial that financial status or whatever. So make sure that you add extra as much as possible. Please load it with extra, and that's why I said I would advise keep putting money every week, because anything can happen. So every week put 20,000, every week put 20,000. Just keep adding, because you just want to make sure that you are safe, because you don't want a situation whereby you've done your calculation, and when you are doing that, when you are trying to know the equivalence, maybe how much 24,000 pounds, what is its equivalence in naira, for instance, please use the highest figure as much as possible. Don't use the base. So assuming that you saw online that it is 700 naira, 700 naira to £1 at the moment you are applying, I will advise please make it 720 or whatever. Increase it, because I don't need to lecture you on that. You should be aware of how all this happens. So it is very, very important to do that, because if at the point when they are considering your application, maybe it has increased or there are changes, then it can lead to visa denial. But if it's maybe your money is in excess or whatever, they won't deny you your visa. So please be on the safer side and make sure that you add as much extra as possible. Alright, let me say this now that I remembered it. I talked about the fact that you can use your parent statement of account, right? Yes, you can, but please, when you use your parent statement of account, there are maybe 2 other documents, or maybe 3, depending on where you are from, that you need to attach when you are applying for your visa. Like I said earlier, your birth certificate, adoption certificate, or any court document that shows that proves that they are your parents. You need to attach that to your application. You also need a document from your parents to show that they are your sponsors and they are your parents, and that's why you're using you need a written and signed letter. Apart from the birth certificate, right, you also need a letter from them, because anybody can use anybody's statement of account. Like your parents, you can use your parents' statement of account and just apply, whereas they are not even sponsoring you, or they are not aware. So your parents need to write a letter and sign it to say that yes, that of course they are your parents and they are the ones sponsoring you. Of course, that's why you are using their statement of account. This is very, very important. Don't miss it. And also, depending on where you are coming from, maybe you are not from an English speaking country, if the statement of account, for instance, or any document that you are using for your application, if it's not in English, please make sure that they are translated. All right, so even if your parents are writing the letter, they should write the letter in English, basically. So any document that you are using to support your application that are not in English, make sure that they are translated to English before applying for your visa. Okay, just for maybe those that have sponsorship, maybe you have scholarship, basically. Now, when you're applying for your visa, it's also very, very important that you get a letter from your sponsor. And in that letter, like your sponsors, they need to provide you with a letter. And that letter, of course, you have to bear your name, the name of the organization or the body that is sponsoring you, their address. The letter also has to have the amounts, like how much they are sponsoring you with, how much are they sponsoring you with. You need to have that included in that letter. Also, the date of the letter, that date has to be less than 6 months. It doesn't have to be more than 6 months from the date you applied for your visa. And also how long their sponsorship lasts. Is it for 1 year? That means it's maybe if you're doing a master's program, that means it's for 1 year period. So you need to get this document from them to show that they are sponsoring you, how much, what is their name, what is their address, your own name, and of course the date of the letter has to be less than 6 months from the day you are applying for your visa. You need to get all this. So guys, like I said, this is going to be an interesting series. Yes, I'll be bringing you all the information you need as far as applying for UK study visa is concerned, and you will love it. All right, so please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Do it right now, please. Give it a thumbs up, like this video, and please, in the comment section, guys, if there are some things that still confuse you when it comes to applying for study visa, all right, let me know in the comment section. Just ask me your questions or the things that you like me to talk about or address, probably in the next video. But definitely a video on the interview process is coming, so maybe your questions shouldn't be channeled to that. Maybe after that video, if you feel I didn't answer a question in your heart, then you can. But let me know your questions in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have not, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely be seeing you in my next video. Until then, guys, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take care of yourself. Bye.